Hello and welcome to a lecture on criminal conspiracy. The object of this lecture is to focus on the meaning and concept of criminal conspiracy, Section 120A and Section 120B. Section 120A and 120B were added to the Code by the Criminal Law Amendment Act 1913 with a view to making conspiracy a substantive offence. Mere conspiracy to commit an offence has now been made punishable under Section 120B. Let us first try to understand the meaning of the word criminal conspiracy. Etymologically, the word conspiracy means breathing together. It is not possible to breathe together unless the heads are put together. Hence, conspiracy is an act for which at least two persons are essential. In other words, when two or more persons agree to commit a crime, they are said to have conspired. It is immaterial whether the crime is committed or not. The persons are called conspirators. According to English law, conspiracy is defined as the agreement of two or more persons to effect any unlawful purpose, whether as their ultimate aim or only as a means to it. This definition consists of four essential ingredients, namely, number 1, agreement, number 2, two or more persons, number 3, unlawful purpose, and number 4, mens rea. These elements are also found in definition given in Section 120A of Indian Penal Code, which reads as, when two or more persons agree to do or cause to be done, number 1, an illegal act, or number 2, an act which is not illegal by illegal means, such an agreement is designated a criminal conspiracy. Provided that no agreement except an agreement to commit an offence shall amount to a criminal conspiracy unless some act besides the agreement is done by one or more parties to such agreement in pursuance thereof. It is immaterial whether the illegal act is the ultimate object of such agreement or is merely incidental to that object. Conspiracy under the Section 120A has the following essentials. Number 1, an agreement between two or more persons. Number 2, to do or cause to do an illegal act. Or number 3, to do an act which is not illegal but by illegal means. Number 4, an overt act done in pursuance of the conspiracy in case of number 3. Thus, Section 120A provides for two kinds of conspiracies. Number 1, agreement to do or cause to be done an illegal act. In this case, mere agreement is punishable. Number 2, agreement to do or cause to be done an act which is not illegal but by illegal means. In this case, some overt act besides the agreement should be done by one or more parties to such agreement in pursuance thereof. Now, let us go through each of the two kinds in detail. Number 1, agreement to do an illegal act. Agreement is the gist of the offence. There must be an agreement. There need not to be proof of direct meeting or combination of the parties being brought into each other's presence. The agreement may be inferred from circumstances raising a presumption of a common plan to carry out a lawful design. An agreement implies meeting of the two minds with reference to a particular matter, and so long as matters are discussed and views are interchanged, but the plan of the action has not been settled by the concurrence of any two or more of the conspirators, the stage of criminal conspiracy would not be considered to have been reached. The only relevant fact is that all means adopted and illegal act done must be and purported to be in furtherance of the object of conspiracy, even though there may be sometimes misfire or overshooting by some of the conspirators. Even if some steps are resorted to by one or two of the conspirators without the knowledge of the others, it will not affect the culpability of those others when they are associated with the object of the conspiracy. In Tapan Das versus State of Bombay, the Supreme Court held that there must be two or more persons and one person alone can never be held guilty of criminal conspiracy, and this view was approved by the Supreme Court in Hardan Chakraborty versus Union of India. In state of Tamil Nadu versus Nalini, commonly known as Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, It was held that the association of the accused with the main accused or even his knowledge about conspiracy would not make the accused a conspirator because agreement is the sine qua non of the offense of conspiracy. It was further made clear that it is not necessary for a conspirator to be present at the scene of the crime. One person alone cannot conspire. If in a case two persons have been charged for the offense of conspiracy and one is acquitted, the other cannot be convicted, even if he confesses his guilt. He cannot be held for offense of conspiracy. Number second, agreement to do an act not illegal but by illegal means. In this case, conspiracy consists in agreeing to do or cause to be done an act which is not illegal but by illegal means. The term illegal has been defined in Section 43 IPC. Thus, an agreement to do or cause to be done something which in itself may be indifferent or even lawful by unlawful means amounts to conspiracy in this case. For example, A and B agree to murder C. A goes to purchase a revolver in false name. Both are guilty because A's illegal act, though not the murder of C in which B had conspired, is yet incidental to that object. In Amrit Lal Hazara and other versus Emperor, it was held that the gist of the offence was in the conspiracy or agreement, and if the offence went no further, it might not be possible to say what murders and dacoities it was proposed to commit, or as in the present case, what particular explosives the accused had intended to obtain. The evidence on record was, however, not found sufficient to sustain the charge of the conspiracy and the accused were acquitted. However, the appeal of Amrit Lal was dismissed. Now, let us move towards the differences between Section 34 and Section 120A. Number 1. Section 34 applies when a criminal act is done in furtherance of the common intention of all the offenders, whereas Section 120A deals with an association to break law, even though the illegal act does not follow. Number 2. Section 34 lays down a principle to determine the criminal liability of persons more than one in the commission of a crime, whereas Section 120A defines a substantive offence, that is, the offence of conspiracy. Section 120B, punishment of criminal conspiracy. Number 1. Whoever is a party to a criminal conspiracy to commit an offence punishable with death, imprisonment for life, or rigorous imprisonment for a term of 2 years or upwards shall, where no express provision is made in this code for the punishment of such a conspiracy, be punished in the same manner as if he had abetted such offence. Number 2. Whoever is a party to a criminal conspiracy other than a criminal conspiracy to commit an offence punishable as afore said shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term not exceeding 6 months or with fine or with both. In Sherimon v. State of Kerala, accused appellant was engaged in business of auto finance who hatched conspiracy with 3 others to seize auto rickshaw from possession of hirer on account of default in payment of installments. In pursuance of conspiracy, other accused persons hired auto rickshaw and murdered its driver and took away auto rickshaw. Appellant was not present when murder of driver was committed. It was held that for the offence of conspiracy there must be meeting of minds resulting in decision taken by conspirators regarding commission of crime. Court held that evidence on record is totally inadequate to come to conclusion that appellant and other accused hatched criminal conspiracy. Their conviction of appellant with aid of Section 120B is liable to be set aside. So far as Section 34 of the Code is concerned, it embodies the principle of joint liability in the doing of a criminal act, the essence of that liability being the existence of a common intention. Participation in the commission of the offence in furtherance of the common intention invites its applications. Let us now try to differentiate between criminal conspiracy and abetment. As regards the difference between criminal conspiracy and abetment is wider of the two. Abetment is a genus of which conspiracy is a species. Abetment may be committed in various ways, while conspiracy is one of them. Abetment per se is not a substantive offense, while criminal conspiracy is a substantive offense by itself. These are the main points of distinction between the two. Number 1. Conspiracy is a process by which an agreement is entered into between two or more persons for commission of an illegal act or doing a legal act by illegal means. The parties to agreement are called conspirators. Abetment is a process by which one or more engage others for commission of an offense. The former who abets is called abettor, while the latter who commits the offense is called the principal offender. Number 2. Conspiracy can be committed by two or more. Abetment can be committed by one or more. Number 3. Section 120A and 120B deal with criminal conspiracy. Sections 107 to 120 deal with abetment. Number 4. Conspiracy is one of the methods of abetment. Abetment can be committed in various methods, namely instigation, conspiracy, intentional aid, etc. Number 5. Conspiracy is a substantive offense. Abetment per se is not a substantive offense. With this, we come to the end of today's lecture. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.